he wants to respond to that question.
Okay, do you mind? Go ahead, sir.
I also was not here, or part of the board committee at that time. And I'm not a lawyer either, so I don't know what the total legal implications are there, but my thoughts are, just because you pass a motion, that doesn't constitute a legal binding contract. I think passing a motion is the board's way of saying, okay, we want to proceed forward with this. And so therefore, we will work with AEI in this and come to some kind of legal agreement, but until that contract is actually signed, I'm not sure that binds us in any legal way. So I would like the other guys here that haven't, or wasn't here for the that time, or wasn't part of the board, I should say, I would like to see the minutes and reflect on it and so forth, but just initially speaking, I don't see how that actually locks us into a contract, so just because the board passes a motion.
I'm Debbie Stevens. I'm coming in with a clean slate. I don't know any of you. Don't know anything about you. Heard of Eldon, but that's about it.
Uh-oh. I drew the short bottle.
And like I said in the meeting before when I was here, I'm born and raised on Main Street, Monterey. So I care about where your heart is. I'm hearing where your heads are about, that just tells me about specific things. But I'm looking for who I'm going to vote for. And I'm experienced at that, folks, because I was the city manager of Monterey for 17 years. So I lived the life of a governing board. So I want to know where your heart is. So my question to you is, there's a lot bigger demographic in Cumberland Cove than what's represented here. When I look around the room here, I see folks my age. But there's a lot of folks that own property here and own homes here that are a lot younger than us. That it's just not their lifestyle. Like us old folks, we got nothing better to do than to come to these meetings. But they've got homework to help with and all that stuff. So I want to be a voice for them. So my question to each one of you is, if you were meeting a young couple between the ages of 30 and 40, let's say, for the first time, and you were introducing them to the possibility of coming and being partnered with us here in the Cove, what would be your description of the experience of living here?
Why don't we start alphabetically again? Pat? If you don't, I guess I should ask it. Does everybody you want everybody to respond?
Absolutely.
Yes, so we'll start with Pat.
I want to know who to vote for.
Give her a microphone.
One of the worst.
One of my goals, if I'm elected, is to have it more for the young people, or even the working class our age, that still have to work or still have to meet bus schedules. I feel that the Welcome Center should be open a few evenings a week, a possible Saturday, so we all can enjoy it. It doesn't have to be structured, it doesn't have to be a full crew, but we need to be open, we need to be available for the people. And the meetings for the committees, when you work, you can't be here during the day, and your input's really important, and involvement's important. So I think the meetings, like Security Committee, has their meetings in the evening so everyone can attend. I think we have a long way to go to get the young people to be involved, but it's doable. You know, we moved here for the peace, the quiet, the trees, the quiet. And the young people aren't quite there yet. They will be, but we need to be able to make it the best we can make it while they're getting there, but still have them involved.
I guess I'll start this with the reason that I moved here. Most of my relatives live in the Glade. So that was the experience that I had when I first came to this area after retiring from the Air Force. I didn't want that. I didn't want the houses right next to me and having everybody looking at me and putting a lot of restrictions on me, telling me what color I could paint my house. And and whatever. I checked this place out and fell in love with it immediately. The reason is, look around here. It's nature at its best. We got trees, we got wildlife abundant. We got a big bear running around here. You know, where else can you go to live and see something like that? It's just a phenomenal place. But everybody came here, if I shouldn't say everybody, a lot of the people I've spoken to came here to be left alone. They came here because there wasn't a lot of restrictions. And that's the way they want it. Now, we have some improvements to do here. When you first walk, or when you first drive into the Cove, what's the first thing that you see? Road conditions. We really need to get the roads fixed, because that is the first impression. And if we don't have the roads fixed, that reflects on our property values. And so as a young couple coming in here, they're gonna see that, and they're gonna say, well, you know, this place isn't really maintained well. The road conditions are gonna be the first. So as a board member, I think that would be one of the things that we really, really need to put the county's feet to the fire about. We pay taxes just like everybody else in these two counties. We should be getting that money back. Young couples, they can come here and they can see what the rest of us see. We need to display that in a positive way. The bickering that has been going on the last few months is not productive. So if they see that, then they're not going to be appreciative of what we have here as well. So we have to learn to come together. We have to communicate. We have to work together. And lately it doesn't seem like that's happening. And it's really depressing because there is a lot of good people here. In the last year I have met so many people that I have come to call great friends. It seems like Jan and I are always going somewhere with friends. That's the way it should be. Let's keep it that way.
My wife and I bought our property here in 2003. And in 2005, we built our home of our dreams. Wasn't able to retire until 2010, but we continued to come up and enjoy this community. It was our choice. Actually, in 2003, we flew into Nashville, rented a car, we were going to Gatlinburg, and we were going to build a house that we could rent until retirement came. Well, a friend of mine who I worked with said, get off at exit 301 and check out Cumberland Cove. And we did. And I have to tell you that this community offers way more friendship, love, beauty than Gatlinburg does. So we decided that we were going to build our home. 2010, retired. And it was a little bored because the community really had a few things going on, but the winter was a little cold, hadn't been back up north for the winter for a long time. So we opened up a little business. And that's where we began to meet people from our community here. Because we were basically secluded. My home is a stone's throw from this building. And to think that there isn't the heart of living here, this is our plan to stay here for the rest of our life. We've made lots of friends now within the community, outside the community. We've made numerous recommendations to people to come here and buy. Many of you people out there, come to our business. We have a motto, where old friends gather and new friends meet. And essentially that's Cumberland Cove. So if anybody doesn't think, I would think everybody's heart is in this. The fact that we have disagreements within the community